Hello everybody, it's me Tami DeVine, continuing here on CCN Sunrise with the candidates. Meet the candidates, and a lot of these are the Republican candidates. We want to make sure that everybody gets their voice heard. I know the other side gets their voice heard quite a bit on the mainstream media, and we wanted to present these folks. This is Tom Palzer. He is running for U.S. Senate for Dianne Feinstein's seat.
That's right.
You want to retire her, is that right?
The quicker the better.
And why is that?
Well, I think we've had liberal politics for over a quarter of a century. 26 years, as a matter of fact, there hasn't been a Republican in the United States Senate. So we've had, I think, enough of liberal politics in the entire state. The governor is leaving. That's a blessing. And I think if we can get this U.S. Senate seat, we'll have a lot of policies that will be initiated, and some of them will probably take away a lot of the things that have caused our state to be like 48th in education.
Like what? What kinds of things do you think are happening here through the liberal policies you say that you'd like to get rid of?
Well, there are a lot of things that have been promised, like the water, providing water throughout the state. There's a plan for that, but it hasn't been implemented, and there's no reason why it can't be with all the money that's being spent for other things. And there are things like the bullet train, or the train to nowhere, whatever you want to call it. That thing has spent taxpayer dollars just like, bubble gum, chewing bubble, just too much money. We could have had this project done years ago, but the money keeps going to consultants to re-verify, to re-this and re-that. So it's an awful lot of money. And there's no reason why we can't get both of those things, provide water throughout the state, and also get rid of this idea of pumping more money into a train and putting it into other resources.
I've had to ask all the candidates, is there hope in blue California?
Yeah.
For you as a Republican to get in, or any Republican?
Here's why I think there is. I'm a long-range planner. That means for 32 years of my life, I dealt with elected and appointed officials at all levels of government, from City Hall to Congress, and I've also dealt with over 30 federal and state agencies, including the Homeland Security and I won't call it a top secret, but a task force that dealt with developing a system of transportation management. And people on there were members of the New York Port Authority and cities of Chicago, LA, and New York. Also countries, Japan, Australia, the UK, Canada, and another one. But our job was to develop a transportation system management plan that would be in place and could be implemented in case of a terror attack or whatnot. But going back to your original question, we were talking about other things that could be done in the state of California, I believe was the question.
Yeah.
Well,
and also, is there hope to get a Republican in office there?
That was the main thing. I think if you get rid of sanctuary status, that would provide a lot.
So you're totally against the sanctuary city thing, that and sanctuary state, I guess, that
right.
Jerry Brown is.
It's very, very simple. Sanctuary status is not a state's right. Boom. That's it.
Okay, because it has to do with federal protection of the welfare.
And we have the Department of Immigration. That's what that's supposed to be for. It didn't do its job for the last 20 years, and that's why we have the immigration problem. But we still have that in place, and that can be revamped, just like the VA needs to be revamped. I had my fellow veterans die waiting for an appointment, not a procedure, an appointment. Department of Education needs to be abolished. We need to get the money back into our local school systems, with the caveat that they require parents and guardians to be directly involved in development of curriculum. Common Core.
I asked Judy Chu this a few years ago, and she laughed, because Republicans say this, let's abolish the Department of Education, but it's something that Democrats and people on the left, I think, really just cannot fathom, because it's like, really? You just want our children to just be totally uneducated is basically the thought.
Of course they can, but that's not the thought to me, that they'd remain uneducated. That's not the point. The point to me is you bring it down to more of a local level, and you have a better chance of making sure that kids go on to higher grades with more than a third grade math and reading skill. And that's
So take the
problem.
federal government totally out of education and have the states get funding to educate their own, basically.
States, yes, but it needs to go down directly to the school districts and
To the actual school districts.
and even in the cities. The government needs to be involved in the lesser degree. The school districts and the parents are the key, I think, to providing the right level of education.
You have a number of different platforms here, and I think we touched on a lot of them. One of the things is that you want to do is repeal the top 2 primary system. Can you explain that?
Sure. Top 2 primary system went into effect in 2011. It was voted on in 2010 by the people. And since that time, the claim that with the top 2, more centrist candidates or more conservative candidates would create a pool from which to choose in the primary election. Turned out in 2012, 14, and 16, more liberal incumbents retained their seats and more liberal candidates won the plurality of races.
Because
Because it's doing just the opposite of what it's supposed to do. It's drawing candidates from everywhere. You know, I want to tell my child or my grandchild that I ran for the United States Senate. Boom, I'm on the list. You know, these kinds of things, which would be a vetting procedure, needs to be done by the Republican Party, Democratic Party, and other parties.
So you want everybody's name to show up on the ballot.
Right. Basically, what my initiative would do would be to repeal Prop 14, which created top 2, and allow the top vote getter of every party to move on to the general election. That's representative government. Under the top 2, we've got like a manufactured system. And I don't care, I'm a Republican. I don't care if there's 2 Republicans or 2 Libertarians or 2 Democrats. It doesn't matter to me, it's wrong. It's a manufactured, constructed type of thing that was done by Schwarzenegger, Maldonado.
Who,
and
incidentally,
Charles
Schwarzenegger, incidentally, as a Republican.
Right, and Abel Maldonado gave him the vote he needed in order to get his budget on the table, and that's why Maldonado said, you give me the top 2, I'll give you my vote. And then Charles T. Munger Jr., whose father is a business partner of Warren Buffett, financed the thing.
Okay, I want to end with this, and that is the Trump agenda. How would you, are you a supporter of Trump, and how would you work with him if you went into the Senate?
Well, I'm very much a supporter, and I like what he's doing with the economic aspect of our economy. Lowest unemployment. There are enough jobs now to employ the unemployed.
Like 6.6 million jobs or something like the open jobs right now.
So now everybody can have a job who wants to work. You asked me about like long-term. My long-term goal as a long-range planner is to make sure that in a number of years, as soon as possible, California can cast 55 electoral votes for a Republican for president.
And how long are you hoping
About
this
a
takes?
half hour.
No, I mean, like in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I would say we need to give it this rest of this term and perhaps part of Donald Trump's second term. And I will work with him in terms of the economics, in terms of what he's doing with Syria and Israel and North-South Korea. These are unprecedented things.
A lot of history is being made right now, that's for sure.
No question. No question. Whether you like what he tweets or not, the man gets the job done.
Well, ultimately, I think American people want to see results, and there's been a lot of results that I can see so far.
Right. I mean, you know, with the fake news, you don't get what's going on right now, and you don't get the truth. What you get is their distorted view of the Russian probe, you know, anything they can get their hands on. They're still way back here, and the rest of us are moving forward.
This is why I think everybody should be like me. What I do is I listen to and watch the mainstream media news, and then I go and I look at all of the other alternatives. Yeah. You know, I look on the right side, I look on the left side, and then I decide myself what I think or believe, and I think that's what everybody should do.
I wake up, have breakfast, then I watch Fox, and then I go to CNN, MSNBC, and see what the difference is and how they're treating the subjects of today. And they're treating, the other part of the media is treating the subjects of yesterday and before and before and before. We've moved on. Yeah. Not that you shouldn't take a controversy.
I'm just wondering, really, like they need to take a poll. Like, how many people really care about Stormy Daniels? You know, I don't know.
I heard and I have no corroboration of this, but I heard CNN's ratings have just dipped significantly.
20% dip in the last year, I believe. Yeah. So, well, if that tells you anything, we'll see. Thank you so much, Tom, for being here. I really appreciate it. Good talking to you. How can people reach you and get information?
www.tompalzer.com. They can call me. I answer my own phone. I'm at 909-913-9500.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. That's pretty brave of you.
One other thing I wanted to mention.
Okay, real quick.
The endorsement of the California Republican Assembly. That's a biggie.
Okay. All right. That's the state assembly? Or is that
California Republican Assembly?
Okay, that's a different
Similar to
entity.
the CRP, the California Republican Party.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Got it. Okay, well, good luck to you, and we'll see how it all shakes out in the end.
Thank you again very
Thanks
much,
again.
Tami.
No problem. That's it for now. This is Tom Palzer. You heard his website. He even gave out his phone number, so you can give him a call directly and all of that if you want to know more about what he's standing for during this election process. Thanks for watching. That's it for now. We'll talk to you next time.